What is up, investors, and welcome back to the Everything Crypto Show, where we bring you the latest and most important news moving the crypto markets, DeFi tutorials on how you can optimize your crypto holdings to earn some juicy yield, as well as deep dives on projects we see as having huge potential for the future. Now, as always, please remember that nothing on this channel is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. These videos are made for viewer education and entertainment purposes only. Please invest responsibly, as I want this community to thrive, and I love and appreciate you all. And on that note, sit back, relax, grab that Sunday morning cup of joe, and enjoy the show. Now, we got a lot to cover in today's Cronos weekly market update, including some new partnerships from Crypto.com, as well as some new moves being made on the Cronos chain. However, I want to start off with this quote from Crypto.com. This was a tweet they sent out on June 2nd, and they basically said, bear market or barely a market. We're still so early, and I pretty much agree with all aspects of this quote. Let me just go ahead and retweet this, actually, because this is absolutely correct. The matter of the fact is, yes, we are definitely in a bear market, okay? We got the total crypto market cap here, which is down like 60% from all-time highs, down to 1.2 trillion. If we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, that is steady on the rise, which does tend to happen in bear markets as well, as people move out of alts and flock to safety. And we also saw a huge breakdown here on the Ethereum versus Bitcoin evaluation. This is not ETH versus the US dollar. This is ETH versus Bitcoin. And we were in this uptrend since pretty much like April of 2021. And we have cleanly broken below that, which means that I would expect Ethereum and alts to continue bleeding against Bitcoin for the foreseeable future. Whether they all go up or down, I still think that Bitcoin does outperform for the next little bit. So by all meanings of the word, we are in a bear market, but we are also barely in a market, okay? We are still so early to this project, to crypto as a whole, and that is why you guys need to be paying attention right now when prices are low. Do not give up like the general public does when the prices get down. Do not let prices impact your conviction, as we are incredibly early, and people who stick this out will reap the rewards in the long run. So with that out of the way, now we are going to get into the news. And for starters here, we can see that Crypto.com has secured provisional approval to open their crypto exchange in Dubai. So just like Binance, FTX, and Bybit, Crypto.com is on its way to offering digital asset services in Dubai. This is absolutely huge, as they shared plans to set up a regional outpost in Dubai 3 weeks after VARA's inception, which is Dubai's Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. And I mean, if that doesn't demonstrate how early we are, I don't know what will. Like, crypto has not even finished being regulated in majority of places in the world, including the US, who is far behind in my opinion, and exchanges like Crypto.com that we are massively bullish on for their future expansion have not even begun to provide their services yet on a global scale. So they are still expanding into different countries, into different states, and Dubai is the latest one on Crypto.com's hit list. And CEO Chris Marzalek here says, we are excited to provide more of our products and services in a market of great importance to our business, and one that is equally committed to regulation and compliance. So definitely a big piece of news here that will allow Crypto.com to operate in Dubai along some of these bigger exchanges like Binance, FTX, and Bybit. And in my opinion, this is just one more step into getting Crypto.com to become the largest exchange on a global scale. And in other partnership and integration news here, we see that Arriva Coin will integrate with Crypto.com Pay. The next gen travel token is meeting one of the world's biggest exchanges. Now, Arriva Coin here is the native token of Arriva.world, and this is essentially the Expedia of the cryptoverse, okay? You can basically book your vacations through this site, and not only do they accept crypto as an option, they actually only accept cryptocurrency, okay? So this is definitely a travel site that is really focused on revolutionizing the industry and digitizing the industry, something that we are definitely a fan of, and I do think that it makes a lot of sense for them to actually partner up with Crypto.com Pay, so you can just pay directly from the Crypto.com app on Arriva.world to actually book your vacations. And this announcement comes just a couple of weeks after it was announced that Crypto.com Pay would become available to all Shopify merchants. So essentially, anybody selling stuff on Shopify could actually accept payment in crypto via the Crypto.com Pay platform. And while this does not have a direct price impact on CRO, I do think that what it does is raises awareness to Crypto.com Pay and to the Crypto.com platform as a whole. I highly doubt that anybody is going to hop on the Crypto.com app only to use the Crypto.com Pay program program without actually starting to get intertwined in the ecosystem. And once again, this is one of the big bullish cases for us when it comes to CRO on the channel, is it has a very sticky ecosystem similar to Apple. So while the Crypto.com Pay news does not have a direct impact on CRO, I do think it has sort of an adverse impact, okay? Because what you can see is someone's going to hop on here for Crypto.com Pay to easily pay with crypto through the platform. Then they're going to notice the other suite of products here, including the NFT platform, the Visa cards, Crypto Earn, Crypto Credit. They can look at the Crypto.org chain, the Defi wallet. Like, there is so much that Crypto.com offers outside of Crypto.com Pay. And I think that this will just serve as a very nice entry point to the platform, the same way that the Visas do. And then people become to get more intertwined in the Crypto.com ecosystem, start to get into DeFi, NFTs, etc., etc. So a good piece of news once again for just bringing more awareness to the platform, which we always love to see. And I think this social awareness aspect of Crypto.com is definitely very important, especially in a time where the existing Crypto.com community seems to be very negative. Now, this is not outside of the normal for a bear market. However, given the changes that have been made to the Crypto Earn program, as well as to the Visas in the past couple of months, it has definitely exuberated this frustration. But what I think people need to really do here is zoom out and recognize something that is being said in this Reddit post that I think is very important, which is that Crypto.com is just being responsive to market changes, okay? Coinbase also slashed the 4% cashback option on their Visa. They also slashed all of their job offerings, including people that they already agreed to onboard. Gemini has already cut 10%, or they announced they are going to cut 10% of their workforce, blaming crypto winter. Then you got exchanges like BlockFi, Voyager, and Celsius all cutting their Crypto Earn programs. So it's very important here to zoom out and recognize this is not just a Crypto.com issue. These are all exchanges across the board. A, trying to make sure they can sustain themselves through a crypto winter, and B, getting ready to comply as US regulation does come into play. Now, the Crypto.org chain is also having some issues, as well as the DeFi wallet. As you can see here, there has been a transaction pending for about 24 hours now. I personally have a transaction that has been pending for upwards of, give or take, like 40 hours at this point. So no, this is not just you, okay? Do not worry. I've had a bunch of messages asking what is going on. It is not just you. Everyone is experiencing this right now. And I don't know if it is an issue with the Crypto.org chain or whether it is an issue with the DeFi wallet itself, but transactions are pending across the board. Whether you are trying to send CRO to somebody, whether you are trying to stake CRO in a Crypto.org chain staking pool, or whether you are trying to claim your rewards from a Crypto.org pool, nothing is going through right now. So do not worry. Sit tight, relax. It is not just you, and I would expect this fix to be rolled out within the next couple of days. But as always, I will keep you guys updated and let you know when the Crypto.org chain is functioning as normal and when the DeFi wallet is back online. Now, moving on here to the Cronos chain specific news. First of all, we saw the successful launch of Argo Finance this week, and what this is a one-click liquid staking solution where you can stake your CRO and receive bonded CRO in return. So you can basically earn this 11.9% yield on your CRO and then take the bonded CRO and generate additional yield throughout other DeFi protocols in the Cronos chain like VVS Finance here. And if you want to learn more about that, I will leave a video link in the description down below where we break all of that down, including a tutorial on how you can get started on earning some yield on your CRO and getting that bonded CRO in return. Now, if you guys are a part of the CRO community on Twitter, I'm sure you have seen people throwing this referral link around for the Cronos Steakhouse. I did make a video about this on Monday, or I don't know what day it was on June 1st, and I got a lot of heat. I got some people saying that I don't understand the nature of this pool, it's not risky. Let me make something very clear, guys. If you are being offered a daily return of up to 8% and an APR of 2,900%, do not kid yourself into thinking there is not risk involved. The reason I am not promoting this on the channel is because I am not going to shoot out a referral link to make quick dollars off of my community off of something that is clearly a Ponzi scheme. So if you are involved in this, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying know your risk. And I'm telling you right now, by all meanings of the word, this is a Ponzi scheme. You are putting your CRO in this pool. It is being locked up in there. You cannot claim that CRO again. Why is that? Because they need to keep the CRO in the pool to hand out the rewards. So you are only claiming CRO that other people are putting in the pool. And what happens when people stop participating and putting CRO in the pool but keep wanting to claim the rewards? boom, you run out of CRO and the house of cards falls down. This is how these things work. So if you have gotten in early, if you're able to get your initial investment back, good for you. I really hope you do. I do not want to see anybody lose money, okay? I just want my community to stay safe and informed, and that is why I'm not promoting this, as at the end of the day, it is a Ponzi scheme, and that is all I got to say about that. So now moving on to MMF, which is near all-time lows. It's definitely had a hard time during this bear market, as well as the Cronos ecosystem as well, but we can see your MMF has fallen from total value locked on the platform of 1.3 billion all the way down to 190 mil. And now, in correlation with this steep drop-off in total value locked, MMF is trading 20 times below its all-time high. We can see here that it did hit an all-time high back in April of this year at about $1.78 per token, and we are now sitting at 55 cents per token, okay? And there was some more unfortunate news from MMF that came out, as they did actually halt plans for their MUSD stablecoin, and the reason being is that MUSD was actually supposed to be an algorithmically pegged stablecoin. And for those of you that are aware what happened with Luna, well, this has definitely caused people to be more cautious towards algo pegged stablecoins, and they say right here that the Luna and UST saga has definitely shaken investors' confidence in stablecoins and how they are perceived. The only stablecoins that have largely maintained peg are the over-collateralized one. This is why our team will put on pause our plans for a fractionalized stablecoin, given the current market sentiment. And to be honest, I do think this is a very good move for MMF. They have had a lot of problems in the past couple of months, which we did cover in a recent video, and I think that for them to rush out an algo-pegged stablecoin that could also potentially fail would just be more harmful than good for the ecosystem. So I definitely do appreciate that MMF is trying to take the patient approach here and not just shoot out a stablecoin that they don't feel they are ready for. And I do hope that in the future they can actually figure out a way to ensure the stability of MUSD and launch it live, as I think it would be a big growth driver for MMF and potentially help them turn around this steep drop off in TVL. Now we're going to get into my favorite part of the Cronos weekly market update, and we're going to take a look at the weekly growth statistics. And interestingly enough here, the first thing we'll notice is that even with this drop off in TVL for MMF, they are still the top decentralized app on Cronos by monthly active users, coming in at 54.8K monthly active users, while VVS Finance here is coming in at 50K. So MMF outpacing VVS here by about 9 to 10% in terms of monthly active users, which is definitely interesting because, as we can see here, VVS is actually outpacing MMF in TVL by about MMF has 190 mil and VVS has 850 mil in TVL. Now, one reason for this could be that MMF just has literally 15 launch pads on their decks, and maybe that's why. But either way, MMF is definitely showing some very impressive monthly active user rates. And MMF has also surpassed Uniswap by weekly growth rate in volume. We can see they are growing at 75% week over week, with Uniswap actually growing in the negatives at a negative 6.24% growth rate. And this is definitely something to keep in mind. It is a little bit skewed because Uniswap is obviously more mature, but it's definitely a bullish sign to see that MMF is actually surpassing Uniswap in terms of the weekly growth rate here. Now, in terms of some more Cronos specific things, this is the monthly growth rate in total unique addresses of the top EVM blockchains. And we actually got Avalanche coming in here at first with an 11.76% month-over-month growth rate. And then we got Cronos coming in second place here with a 9.52% growth rate. Phantom at 7.25%. Binance, the BNB chain, at 5.7%. So Cronos is outpacing BNB in monthly growth rate and total unique addresses by about double, which is definitely a good sign and definitely a big part of the reason that we do see the Cronos chain surpassing the BNB chain over the long run. And then we got Polygon and ETH growing at under 1.5% in terms of monthly growth rate, but these are much more mature ecosystems, so it does make a lot of sense in that aspect. But again, a lot of growth here for AVAX and for the Cronos chain as well, both of which we are invested in. But definitely important to note here, and a key thing that we do look at is usually the Cronos chain versus the BNB chain, as the whole thesis here is that we believe Crypto.com will surpass Binance in terms of centralized exchange users as well as in terms of DeFi, and we can definitely see Cronos just just outpacing BNB here, which is what we like to see. Now, you're also taking a look here at the inflation rate of top blockchain tokens, finding that CRO has a significantly lower inflation rate than the rest of these projects. I mean, look, we got Solana all the way to AVAX here. Solana, Polygon, Phantom, and AVAX coming in here at over 6% inflation. Near Protocol at 4.5% inflation, and Cronos at 2.28% inflation. And this is definitely important because a big selling point for crypto is the fact that it actually does not suffer from the horrific inflation that the US dollar does, and we are literally feeling the impacts of inflation right now as demand destruction now needs to occur as the Fed tries to control the rampaging inflation that they caused by printing all this money. So inflation rate is definitely something important to take a look at, and Cronos coming in at a modest 2.28% inflation rate year over year is definitely something I like to see. So if you consider the fact that you can stake your CRO on the crypto.org chain for 12.2%, and then you factor in this 2.28% inflation per year, you're still walking away there with like 10% yield at the end of the day, which in my opinion is still very, very impressive, and another reason that we do like CRO over time and we see the value growing. Now, once again, talking about CRO versus BNB here, we can see that CRO is also flipping the BNB chain by a weekly NFT sales volume, coming in here at a 25% growth rate for NFT sales, with BNB coming in at just 24%. So definitely very close in that aspect, but this is the first week that Cronos has flipped BNB, and I would like to see this gap widen more over time. We've also got Cronos here growing faster than Solana and Flow in terms of the daily growth rate in NFT sales, growing at 7% per day, which is very impressive. And then we got Solana here at negative 58%, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense when their blockchain is down half the time, and Flow shrinking here at pretty much 40% daily. So once again, Cronos is the only one in the green in this image, and that is what we like to see as the ecosystem continues to expand. Now, as for the most held tokens on Cronos, I think this is very indicative of what people are the most bullish on the platform, and we can see here that even though MMF actually outclasses VVS in terms of monthly active users, VVS here actually has about double, more than double, almost triple the holders that MMF has. VVS is coming in here at just under 90,000 holders, with MMF coming in here at just under 32,000 holders, meaning that clearly over the long term, while people are using MMF more because clearly there is more volume on their decentralized applications, it is very obvious that people have more long-term conviction in VVS with pretty much triple the amount of holders. So daily active users is not the only thing you want to keep in mind when you are trying to measure the success of these decentralized applications. You do also want to take a look at the long-term holders, and in this category, VVS definitely does reign supreme. Now, we're going to wrap up this video by just taking a look at the Cronos chain itself, taking a look at the weekly growth statistics on DeFi Llama, and what we can see here is that Cronos has fallen down to 8th place. Phantom has surpassed Cronos with 1.57 bill in total value locked, with Cronos coming in at 1.52 bill in total value locked. And if we take a look at the EVM compatible chains, last week we were in 5th place overall. Unfortunately, we are now in 6th place as once again Phantom has surpassed us. However, this is such a tight race, and I do think that there will be a lot of back and forth between Phantom and Cronos in the coming weeks, but I would expect over time Cronos to solidify its spot in the top 5. And keep in mind that some of these chains we're looking at here have been out for years, okay? Cronos chain has been out for not even a year yet, and we have already penetrated the top 10 overall. And I mean, we could have said the top 5, but now the top 6 in terms of EVM compatible chains. So the growth trajectory for Cronos, in my opinion, is going to continue to improve over time. And I think that we will be easily a top 5 blockchain in the long run. Now we can take a look here at the total value log growth, and we are down over 50% from that all-time high of 4 billion. We are down to 1.5 bill at this point. We have slipped even over this past week from about 1.7 down to 1.52. And honestly, guys, this is par for the course. I mean, we're in a bear market right now. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I expect alts to bleed against ETH. I expect ETH to bleed against Bitcoin. And that's how these things go. But important to keep in mind that if you take a look here, we're only back at like December levels. And if we take a look here at the growth even from November 13th, you can see that we are still up 5x in terms of TVL. So I think that definitely puts things in a perspective. Once again, it is very important to keep your conviction high in these bear markets. Do not listen to the silly bears. Continue to load up on your favorite projects at these cheaper prices, but just acknowledge that we are going through a rough period right now. And as long as you have the patience to continue holding. Once again, I do think that you will be greatly rewarded in the long run. But the key term here is the long run, as those quick money days, in my opinion, are well over, especially with the economic and macro conditions that we are experiencing at the moment. So with that said, I hope you guys did enjoy this weekly Cronos update. I will be back with more content tomorrow, actually discussing Cronos and Crypto.com NFTs. So definitely stay tuned for that. I am wishing you guys all a peaceful and restful Sunday. Catch you guys in the next one.